Today has already been a rather interesting day. For quite some time now, Chainsaw Man and its supposed conclusion has been a rather talkative topic. A lot of us were very upset, but at least somewhat understanding on what Fujimoto wanted to do and how he wanted to handle his series. And even though it seemed like everything was coming to a conclusion, I had hope. I had faith that maybe something was here that would allow him to continue the story. The multitude of cohesive ties was the one thing allowing me to hold on to that idea. When it was legitimately announced that the final chapter would be coming sometime soon, definitely wavered in my resilience and determination. However, that has somewhat changed. Today we got some very massive information surrounding the future of Chainsaw Man, and not only for its manga, but also for its anime. There have been a lot of very in-depth leaks and somewhat half confirmations on the future for this series, and it is extremely bright. So firstly, is Chainsaw Man ending? Yes, part 1 is actually ending. So it turns out that within these leaks that seem extremely specific, Chainsaw Man is doing something that we didn't think it would. Something very similar to Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Reap. The first part of Chainsaw Man is coming to a conclusion, and Chainsaw Man Part 2, whatever it's going to be called, will be taking place sometime within the future. We have no confirmation of a release date. We have basically nothing on the continuation for it other than the fact that Part 1 is finished and that the series will be moving to Shonen Jump Plus, which is basically a digital version of Weekly Shonen Jump. However, this is a really good thing. The biggest differences between Weekly Shonen Jump and Shonen Jump Plus is that there is a lot more flexibility with Jump Plus in terms of mature themes alongside seinen series, and basically the ultimate freedom to be able to write the way you want with these mature themes being a lot more darker and grittier without any guidelines or restrictions. Obviously, Weekly Shonen Jump has a standard and boundaries to uphold, and Chainsaw Man was already pushing the limits to its extreme. So with Part 2 taking place within Jump Plus, Fujimoto will be able to flex his freedom a little bit further and be able to push the boundaries once more with whatever he wants. And after reading Fire Punch just recently, which I will have a video on sooner or later, I would 100% expect this story to get a whole lot crazier. Chainsaw Man has already been a very full-on experience, and those said very dark, mature, and gritty themes that have taken place already have yet to be not only escalated, but more specifically explored deeper. Exploring such themes comes at a very hefty cost of mature content, and something that I don't think Weekly Shonen Jump really want to do. Chainsaw Man is extremely popular, and moving to Jump Plus may or may not have any effect on its sales or reception. If anything, because of the added freedom, it could bolster a whole new audience and reception for it, skyrocketing it even further. To give you a bit of context of the success within Shonen Jump Plus, one of, if not the biggest series to come out from it is something that you wouldn't actually expect. Spy X Family, something that has been not only breaking records for how big the series is in terms of its success and fame, but also how small it is in comparison to everything else, only having 30 odd chapters and being a bi-weekly series. There's also a handful of well-received newcomers and successful series within there. Hell's Paradise is within there. Kaiju number 8, which is currently selling extremely well for something so incredibly small with only 15 to 20 chapters. So with Chainsaw Man Part 2 moving to Shonen Jump Plus, I would expect some very incredible things to come out from it. And I'm really glad that those cohesive ties that we have been talking about, the primordial fears, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the continuation, and the mystery surrounding Makima, as well as the stuff with power, can now actually be played upon. Fujimoto, the author, is definitely unpredictable, and I think it comes as a shock and surprise for everyone that he decided to do this. I think we subconsciously all admitted defeat very early, but it seems like he wants to continue, and I'm more than happy and glad that he's going to have the freedom to write how he wants to write with whatever content he wants to provide. Obviously, this makes me undoubtedly happy. I get to make more content surrounding Chainsaw Man. I don't have to say goodbye to it just yet, and I can explore things deeper and witness the story that Fujimoto wants to tell with Chainsaw Man and see it blow up into popularity even further. Talking about its popularity, however, an anime has been rumored for it for quite some time, and it has been confirmed that yes, there is an anime, and the studio behind it is none other than Studio Mappa. this comes as a surprise. Studio Mappa is a very big company and they take on a lot of different projects, and currently working on Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, adding Chainsaw Man to their list is such a massive thing. I joked about it a couple of months back when Kaisen first came out and saying that they could complete the holy trinity of such incredible series, Kaisen, Attack on Titan, and now Chainsaw Man. Who knew that they would actually do it? Not to mention the litany of other incredible series that they have worked on in the past and even this year. God of High School, Dorohedoro, there's a handful of others there that I can't remember, but their flexibility and the range of what they can actually provide is absolutely incredible. I'm only hoping that even though they are taking on so many different series that are so massive and blowing everything up in terms of sale and success, that they can still channel a lot of that talent into Chainsaw Man in a productive and healthy manner. The first thing you hear with Studio Mappa now is, can they even do this? They're taking on so many massive series and it's a whole lot of pressure and stress, and even though the company is massive in comparison to others, can they really pull it off? So far, Kaisen has been nothing but beyond impressive. Attack on Titan has been extremely well received and has a very interesting path for it in terms of its final season. Chainsaw Man may not be as inherently deep compared to those series, but the amount of gore and attention to detail and even quirky humor that they can inlace between it gives them a lot of room to breathe and a lot of beautiful things that they can showcase. Hopefully this doesn't push them over the limits in stressing them out completely and creating a very toxic and volatile work environment. The anime industry is already volatile enough, and Mappa is already loaded with so many incredible series. I can only hope that Chainsaw Man's anime is within good hands, but they don't burn themselves out, and that is the biggest concern, and realistically only time will tell. Over the next handful of months, there's probably going to be a lot of information releasing surrounding Chainsaw Man's Part 2, as well as its anime. I'm hoping that it's not going to be severely censored, and I say that with not much conviction, just because the series that Mappa has worked on, like Dorohedoro for example, are extremely brutal and very visceral and mature. So when it comes to gruesome and over-the-top scenes, I don't think Studio Mappa has a problem with dealing with censorship like that. Obviously it depends on the time slot and what series they're working on, but I'm glad that out of all the studios that could have picked up Chainsaw Man to try and animate it and blow it up into stardom, which would have easily censored it and brought it down so many different levels, I'm confident and happy that Studio Mappa can bring such a flirtatious and over-the-top series to life. We obviously don't want a Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re situation to happen, and I doubt Studio Mappa will even go down that direction. They have an extremely good track record with the series that they put a lot of attention and talent into, and I'm hoping Chainsaw Man is the next thing for them, even though they are stacked and loaded already with incredible things. At this point, only time will tell on that regard. So with that being said, that is basically it. Chainsaw Man Part 2. I didn't think I would actually be saying that. I kind of already came to terms with the series ending, but I'm glad that there was still that little bit of lingering issues that I had with the series, and I'm more than happy to find out that Part 2 is going to be a thing in a magazine that allows for more mature themes to come across more fluidly and naturally, in a more gruesome and unrestricted type of way. Fujimoto will thrive in Shonen Jump Plus, and obviously I'm extremely excited to see what comes from an anime and how chaotic and over the top it can truly be. With that said, let me know how you feel about Part 2 and how do you feel about Studio Mappa adapting Chainsaw Man into an anime. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Drink plenty of water, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.